Hello and welcome to 9 Months, India's first and only comprehensive show on pregnancy. Whether you're planning a pregnancy, already pregnant, or a new mother, we'll answer all your questions. For our inaugural episode, I'm very excited to introduce two renowned doctors, gynecologist Dr. Duru Shah and nutritionist Dr. Ratna. Thank you so much both of you for joining us here today. It's such an honor and pleasure. So let me start by asking you, Dr. Shah, about the rising cases of infertility in India. So despite our burgeoning population, infertility has risen by almost 20 to 30% over the last 5 years. What's contributing to this?
Actually, if you look at the overall prevalence of infertility in any community, it's approximately 15%.
Yeah.
And out of the 15% women who do not get pregnant within 1 year of living together with their husband and not using a contraceptive.
Right.
Those are the women we would put into a bracket of saying that they have a fertility issue.
Okay.
And out of those women, there'll be about 30 to 40% of them where there'll be a problem with the women.
Okay.
There'll be another 30 to 40% where the problem will be with the male partner.
Okay.
And there's a small percentage wherein both of them have a small factors, so it's a combined problem.
Okay.
And there are almost 10% or 7 to 8% of patients where we do not know the cause, and we call it unexplained infertility.
Okay.
So if you want a breakdown on why in women there is infertility, then today I think the commonest reason, at least in the city of Mumbai where I practice, we find that a large percentage of our women who don't get pregnant are women who are older in age.
Okay.
Many women are into careers. Many women are married but not having children at an earlier age, wanting to delay pregnancy because of many reasons.
Right.
And I think that becomes one of the commonest reasons because of which women have a problem getting pregnant.
Okay.
Besides that, the environmental toxins like smoking, stress, and then not having enough sex.
Oh, really?
Yes. Too tired, husband in one city, she's in another city, different countries, different states.
Okay.
So in the end it becomes a problem where they have to actually time when they'll be together. So their schedules are made according to the ladies' ovulation.
Of course.
So we tell the male partners, if you're making a schedule, see that you're here this week, you can travel the rest of the week.
Okay. Very interesting. And Dr. Thara, how much do you think diet and nutrition contributes to infertility?
I feel diet and fitness contributes, 100%, probably more than that.
Yeah.
And I have seen, and it's my observation, that a sedentary lifestyle, and when I say sedentary, I mean car to carpet. It's like they get off from the car, they are on their carpet, and from the carpet they crawl to the bed.
Okay,
and
so
from
no
the
exercise
bed,
whatsoever.
Absolutely no exercise.
Okay.
And diet is totally full of foods that are preserved.
Okay.
When I say preserved, I don't mean our natural preservation foods. These are shelf foods.
Okay.
Off the shelf, convenient foods. You will find people, even if they buy vegetables, they don't want to buy fresh vegetables. They will buy vegetables which are covered with a plastic cellophane wrap, which are being kept on the shelf for, I don't know, maybe 2 days or 3 days or whatever. It's a refrigerated concept. So probably when you're eating that vegetable, you think you are eating vegetables. I don't know what kind of nutritional profile is there in that cut vegetables. Like even if you make a bhaji or a dal, you will find people adding all kinds of ready-made taste makers and sauces which have got a whole kind of preservative content. And so you don't understand or you don't realize where is the real food you're eating.
Okay.
And so as a result, the body needs to handle all this kind of chemicals that are coming in, and besides our environment doesn't do justice, it contributes its own share to it. When I ask them to go simple, they don't know what is simple diet. They don't know what is simple boiled dal with little tadka in it. They don't know what is simply boiled vegetables. They want fancy food, and people are so tired. They just seek out food that is ready made.
You just convenient.
Totally, And the idea is convenient food is when you are busy, it's supposed to be convenient.
Right.
Not when you are
on an everyday basis.
On an everyday basis.
Exactly. So absolutely. But you know, you mentioned age also contributing to infertility, but I find this very interesting because I've been told, you know, as an Indian woman from the age of 25, this concept of the biological clock ticking was, you know, shoved into my head, and I lived in morbid fear of ever getting pregnant, and now in my mid-30s and I got pregnant, touch wood, very easily. So is this something, I mean, does age really contribute to infertility, or do you think it's your personal health?
You know, emotion which we see in women where they are so desperate.
Yes.
They give up their jobs, they are focusing on this, they don't want to think about anything else, and those stress levels are causing them bigger problems.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, when we are treating them, we tell them de-stress yourself, don't stress, because there's a hormone called prolactin,
right,
which goes up in the blood
right,
because of stress,
okay,
and that causes the problem with ovulation.
Okay.
So we tell them that don't stress, and actually, as a matter of fact, after they have had about 3 to 4 months of treatment and they don't conceive, especially the ones we find where everything is normal, they are not conceiving.
Right.
Say, go for a vacation, come back, let's take a break for a month or two.
Right.
And sure enough, you won't believe it, at least 70 to 80% come back pregnant. Stress is a major ruler. Of course, obesity, being overweight affects your hormones.
Absolutely.
And that is another thing where we have to take care and make sure that women who are having trouble conceiving, we always ask them to lose some weight, at least 5 to 10% of their weight, with exercise, with eating healthy, and that itself sometimes makes them get pregnant.
Okay.
So there are, I mean, of course, there are a whole lot of medical treatments available, but initially, if we just do these small things for them, like make them get into an active lifestyle, get them to, you know, exercise, eat healthy, lose some weight, and look at the male partner too, get his semen test done, because so many times I've seen that everyone focuses only on the woman.
Exactly.
Only on the woman, and then they find that, oh, she's got a problem with her tubes, let's go for IVF. And there are centers I know where probably sometimes we have found that the male partner has never been investigated.
Oh.
So the wife thinks, oh, he's having enough of, there's no problem with him, he ejaculates, he has semen coming out. But they have not checked that semen. They don't know sometimes that the semen will not even contain one single sperm.
Okay.
So they need to be tested right away. Whilst we are testing or investigating the woman, we have to examine, I mean, get the male partner investigated.
Okay.
So once we know both are okay, then we try and, you know, balance out their weight, their stress levels, timing their, you know, availability for each other. That's very important. And then giving them certain hints at what they should not be doing, what they should be doing.
Okay.
And invariably, if everything's okay, within a few months, 3 to 4 months, they're pregnant. But yes, age is a major factor also, because age is something where the best fertility potential is between the age of 20 to 30.
Okay.
That's when your best eggs are coming out of the ovary.
Right.
And every woman is born with a certain number of eggs. She's got like an egg bank in her ovaries.
Right.
And every month when she releases one good egg, she's releasing another 25 to 30 eggs, which have actually started growing with that one good egg, but have decided to sacrifice themselves to let that one egg go ahead.
Okay.
So as a matter of fact, every cycle she's losing at least 25 to 30 eggs.
Okay.
Not one, but 25 to 30. So what happens is that as the years go by, the best ones are being released first, the second best remain, and as you grow older, the worst ones are coming out.
Okay.
So therefore, when the worst ones are coming out, either you'll have problems having a baby and you need help, or even if they get pregnant, the chances of abnormalities in those children increase.
Okay.
So therefore, now of course with very good facilities to investigate, like say we can do good ultrasounds, we can do good tests to find out whether there are any abnormalities in the pregnancy, it's not such a big deal.
Okay.
But the thing is that getting pregnant spontaneously at a certain age is a little difficult as you grow older. As a matter of fact, after 40 it becomes really difficult. But the signal going out to women, as you said, that they should try and get pregnant earlier. And I think as Indians, I'm not saying 25 of course, not 25, but as Indians, we reach menopause at an earlier age compared to the Caucasians.
At what age normally?
We Indian women reach menopause at about 47 to 48.
Okay.
And usually 10 years before that is when the eggs, you know, are getting really bad.
Okay.
So in India, we find women after 36, 37 have difficulty getting pregnant.
Okay.
Whilst in the West,
Right.
the menopausal age is around 52, 53.
Okay.
And they can conceive quite easily till the age of 40, 42.
So it's actually biological why they
biologically,
have a bigger
ethnicity wise, we are at a disadvantage compared
Okay.
to the Caucasian women.
Okay, that's interesting. I didn't know that actually. Very interesting. So if somebody is infertile, what are the options then available to them?
There are many options. As a matter of fact, as I told you, when we investigate them, we find out whether there is any cause which is coming in the way. Say, for example, are her hormones okay? Are her ovaries okay? Are the eggs okay? So we have tests in which we know that she's got good ovarian function, she's got good number of eggs in her ovaries, whether her thyroid is okay, very, very important, whether her prolactin is normal.
Right.
So we do all those investigations, make sure that the male partner is fine, because there are so many parameters.
Absolutely.
Sometimes there are simple things, that they are using some terrible lubricant during sexual activity, and that is causing problems to the sperms. They just die with it. So we have to guide them. After we guide them and get into all this, we at least try and identify a cause, and depending on the cause we treat. Say if we find that there is a problem with the hormones, correct the hormones. If her weight is high, we correct that. We make sure that everything else is okay. And then if we find that she's still not getting pregnant, then we want to know whether there's something called endometriosis, which is existing within her pelvis, which is a disease which is, as of today, no cure, but we can keep it under control. But where fertility is concerned, they are some way connected, even if that endometriosis is very mild, which you may not see on ultrasound, but you may have to do a laparoscopy to look for it. And if we do find that there are small deposits of endometriosis, then we think about how we can help her to get pregnant faster. So when we do a laparoscopy, we are basically putting a telescope into the abdomen to look at the inner structure of the pelvis, inner areas of the pelvis. And we also do a hysteroscopy at the same sitting, wherein we put a telescope inside the uterus to see whether there is something inside the uterus which is causing a problem. There could be a small fibroid, there could be a small polyp. We remove it at the same time. If there are adhesions, we correct it at the same time. So we try and get the scene as good as possible and try and help them by monitoring their ovulation by ultrasound, giving them medications to help. Instead of one egg growing, normally one egg grows, but here we can make 2 or 3 eggs to grow, so that you increase the chances of getting pregnant. Then we may do an intrauterine insemination, where we take the semen, clean it up, put it inside the uterus through a very fine catheter, bring it as close to the egg as possible, so that it facilitates a pregnancy. So all these various protocols and therapies are there to help them. And of course, even if they don't get pregnant with that, then of course we go to assisted reproduction, which is IVF, ICSI. There are so many.
So glad to hear there's so many options.
There are many options
as compared to earlier generations.
I totally agree. There are a lot of options today.
That's heartening to hear. But do you think diet and nutrition or exercises you mentioned can actually improve fertility then?
Yes.